Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, I haven't done this for a while, but I've done a combined Dear Abby set of questions and threads of how do I get started in algorithmic trading and where do I go, blah, blah, blah. So let's do a complete reset. These are the most popular questions I get pretty well, I won't say day in and day out, but they're easily number one. So over the years, because I've been coming up to now close to 6 years with the site at quantlabs.net, I started a FAQ section. Every question that I get can get in itself beyond overwhelming. You can see here I got 90 questions just covering on my memberships, 100 questions on technology, and I'm starting to come to a realization people don't want to go through this stuff day in and day out. So as I learn my, we'll call it modern way to market online, people want a quick solution. So I'm going to address that in a minute, but I'm going to give you some examples of where most people will relate. So in the last 24 hours, I've gotten two different questions, and they're very legitimate. And I'm going to try to cover both and how I tackle it and where I'm going to go with it in coming months. So let's get started. First question. Hi, Brian. I'm interested in your course, but it seems there are a lot of info on your website, obviously. Do you mind to tell me step by step where I should start with your courses? Cheers. Fair enough. Now, the problem for me is when I get these kind of questions is like, are you coming from a programming side? Are you coming from a trader's side? Are you coming from just being a student learning one of the two? Are you a 50-year-old guy in software moving into software for trading? I don't know the background. So usually is, thanks for the inquiry, is what I'll say. What is your technical level with programming? If any, what language do you know? I keep saying I'm the world's worst typist. My apologies on that. I don't take pride in it. I think I could probably draw my copy editor pretty wild too. And then again, asking those questions, I could determine a path from that. So very popular response would be, thanks for the prompt reply, because I do. You go on my YouTube, and you'll see I'm pretty responsive within an hour to 2 hours for most people. I'm a beginner in programming, but very determined to learn. Now, this is the key. Determined to learn. Very determined. Let me bold that. Let me actually underline it and italicize it. Because I think that's probably the most important quality you will need. Oh, let me just make this bigger. Like, that big. That's how important it is. You need to be determined. Okay, let's continue. I'm very experienced in stocks, unfortunately no futures or options, and have some general knowledge in statistics from college as elective subjects. Now, let's first address where we're at with trading. Let's do the next question. Hi, I'm interested to sign up with your Quant Elite course. May I know if you teach message about building algo trading platforms? What are the requirements to learn? How detailed the courses? Do I need more statistics on programming skills to progress? Really important questions and very valid. But if I had to boil it down, I'm going to try to make it as generic as possible. First, Python is the language of choice. The reason I like people to learn Python, I've been at it for a year, and yes, it has its issues, like any other language. And there's good and bad. With Python, if you had to learn Python, that's probably one of the first things you'd need to learn. This book has been recommended a lot. Learn Python the hard way. Apparently it's free. There is a great YouTube channel called Sendex, which I really like. Now, this is just to start you off in the world of programming, especially when it comes to
Hey there.
Python. Now, the thing about Python is it's not going to be the ideal language to build robust and solid trading systems, meaning for your execution. It's a scripting language. It's an interpreted language. In order to build a rock-solid trading platform, you need to use a compiled language. But if you're starting from ground zero, you would probably be best to start with Python. It's an easy language to pick up, okay? But coming into what I have, you're best off to learn the Python, and you can do it in parallel. Now, I've got one person I can show you that is highly driven, that's been doing this since the spring. Out of probably literally hundreds of people, this guy is so determined. He lives in the UK. He stays up till 2 a.m. his time to learn the live lessons that I've been doing since the spring, going into May, and then starting it up again in the last few weeks for our futures and options course. So let me introduce you to one of the videos that really brings this guy about. You can see here on this timeline on YouTube, out of the 1,400 videos that I've got, this was clearly one of 2 videos that are very long. This guy wanted to learn C++, set up a Linux environment, just like what I've got. It is pretty ahead of his skills, but he's so determined to get into this. And these are the kind of people that do really, really well in life and do really, really well in trading because they're so determined. His name's Hayden, and I salute this guy times 1,000 for the kind of determination I've seen. And at the other end, I have had, like I said, literally people, dozens upon dozens of people that ask questions, where do I start, which has led to, well, the cluster F of all the questions here, which is quite a lot. As well as my channel on YouTube, and on top of my blog, it's been crazy. I blog and track everything. It's just crazy, but it does get overwhelming. So the question becomes, where do you start? What can I do? Now, obviously, one of the big skill sets that you'll need is, I've already highlighted it, you need to be determined. Hayden is like, if you watch that video here, you'll see his determination. You'll hear his determination. He wants to succeed. Right then and there is where you will do well in life. And just algorithmic trading. So that's a number 1 skill to have. Okay. Learn Python, and then where do you go from that with what I do? Okay, so why not? Let me just show you what I've got. Whew. All right. So if you come under the blog. To here, let me just do it better. quantlabs.net/blog, like that. You'll see here, originally, and I still believe in this, that algorithmic trading, like with what Dr. Ernie Chan has launched years ago, that started me, is that people can make a living out of trading. Correct. But not just trade as a trading, but a trading business and an algorithmic-based business. His book, the very first book that he did, was so revolutionary for me that it started, to me, and probably most likely thousands upon thousands of people, to have him revolutionize DIY, do-it-yourself trading. The very first book. What am I talking about? Let's see here. Dr. Ernie Chan. He lives not very far from me. Okay, there's 2 books here that I want you to recognize. Okay, so this book came out 2008. This is the book I'm speaking of. Quantitative trading. It's simplistic. It's broken down, but it will motivate you. Okay, now this book is his newer one from 2013. And I have, between this book and the release of this book, have helped him influence this book, technically. That's why there is a blurb in here. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Common back testing. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But somewhere my name gets mentioned as a thank you for helping him influence his technical decisions, because he's a big MATLAB guy, so am I. But that doesn't matter. You're starting out, a lot of people cannot afford MATLAB. So that's where Python comes into play. I'm just doing that as a side note to give you the history and the gist of where things came from in '08. And remember, that was in '08 when people were working minimum wage as programmers, like me. That's why I launched my site. Anyways, Dr. Ernie Chan is an inspiration to me in so many ways, and I'm sure he's an inspiration to a lot of other people. Such a cool, down-to-earth guy. Anyways, let's get back to the questions. You're interested in programming, so we've recognized that Python is a great language to learn off of. So what I've done was, I pretty well looked at every other language, R and MATLAB, in Python. R has its issues, Python has its issues, MATLAB has its issues, and it's called price. Other than that, there's no issues. Python is open source, and so is R. Now, I like R to a certain degree, and I like Python in a certain degree. The difference between the two of Python is a very diverse and it's a versatile language. You can do web, you can do desktop, you can do scientific with the new the old Python that turned into Jupyter. Some really cool stuff that you can do with Python, and you can somehow integrate it with C, which is cool. And it's open source, which means it's free. And it's easy to learn. And there's some great tools. In my case, I'm using, obviously, PyCharm IDE, Integrated Development Environment, Community Edition. It's free. So all this stuff is cool. It's free. So that's a place you start. So what have I started? As you know, I have started this membership called the Quant Elite Membership. Now, people get confused here, where if you're running an algo trading biz, no different than this book, and it's all about how to build your own algorithmic trading business. This is where that name came from. Click here on my website. So where that takes you is to this entire algorithmic trading course series, which I started back in the spring. And that has led me to different phases of the development of this thing. So the very first phase we've talked about is here, is this video here is about the building blocks of a primitive and basic trading system. Algorithmic based, automated based, systematic based. We cover all the basic mechanics of a trading system. We're talking visualization, database handling, interaction with your broker, so on and so forth. Now, the difference by taking this approach versus, I don't know, Quantopian, QuantConnect, this new one called Quantiax, and whatever else, there's a lot of disadvantages there, and I'm not accusing any of these services. When you develop a really cool trading idea and you implement it in a language, let's say in Python, and you prototype it in Python, and you want to host it on, I don't know, Quantopian, let's say, there's going to be lots of people that can clone it. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know if there's privacy or whatnot, but at the other end of it, and it's supposedly stored on some remote server, and it's in a what do you call it, encrypted whatever. I will tell you this, from the thousands upon thousands of traders that I have, the professional ones, the profitable ones, will never in their wildest dreams ever put any of their sensitive intellectual property trading ideas on these platforms. Why? Because they don't own the hardware, they don't control the hardware, and they don't really trust the owners of that hardware. So they don't put these smart, profitable, highly prized strategies on these servers. Therefore, these services don't get the best strategies. They may, but they're going to get cloned, and I don't know. I'm not going to get in that, but they're just not a really long-term viable way to trade your own trading ideas. Whereas here, because you're building your own infrastructure with these building blocks, you own that software. You own all those components. And that's important. Real important. So, you own it, you control it, and you can learn at this phase. Next up, I did once upon a time have an equity strategy, and I started playing with it. I coded it up, and I'll tell you something. It did really good. And it was highly prized. So the people that took and are part of my current membership that learned the infrastructure and the equity trading, learned this strategy, arbitrage pair trading, that I removed because I just wanted to reward them. I said, hey, guys, here's something that may be really useful for you. And I have removed it permanently off my membership. So the other one that I'm working on is the futures and options strategy. Basically what we're doing is we're role modeling off of a course at UC Davis. And it's all fundamental based. And it's currently underway. So that means, if you come here, you'll see here that we've got 1 week that we're already working on for September 19th, because this is September 17th, and we're doing that week by week. So we got different phases of this course that we're currently doing for September 17th, 2016. So that's currently underway, and that is going to be probably the generic strategy that I'll keep up forever. Well, I won't say forever, but for a while, and not remove it. So you have a live trading strategy that you can use. Now, on top of that, I'm blending it with C++ just to show different ways to use these type of strategies at a high level language and at a low level language. But if you're new to this, just stick with the Python and you'll be fine. It also covers all the basics of doing Python fundamental and a fundamental analysis with options and futures. Very basic stuff, but institutional level, which is important. So we've got that underway. So if you take both of those and learn off of that, you should be in pretty good shape to fully understand and fully appreciate programming. Now, it comes back to some more questions that come out of this. And you'll see both guys here have asked about statistics. Let's see, do you tell me why step by step? Start with the courses, cheers. So here he's got some knowledge in statistics from college as an elective course. Fine, it's not critical. Do I need more statistics of programming? This really caught my eye. Just so everybody understands this, when you go out into a hedge fund, an investment bank, a prop shop, and you are so-called a quant developer, quant researcher, two different roles. Quant researcher is the guy that's creating the models, is putting the research into the models. That are usually going to have a PhD level background from an Ivy League school, pretty close to a rocket scientist, doing the math to develop the strategies or models that these high-end boutique hedge funds and other institutional players will use for their hopeful consistent profits. So the rest, basically the crumbs, the rest of us, the quant developers, will be just doing that, developing or trading. I've been told, and I think this is pretty industry-wide, when you get in these kind of roles, 80% of the job is going to be based upon programming. So to answer your question, programming skills is critical for these type of jobs, if that's what you choose. And even if you want to get into automated trading, programming still is a very high percentage of that skill set you need to have. You can learn here from a high level with the infrastructure building block, but why do you think I put this in bold? Very determined to learn. It's very determined to learn. And that's why I'm highlighting here this guy, we'll call him my student, it makes me feel weird hearing that, is that determined to get to that level, okay? And I really think if you listen to this video, you'll hear his success and determination. Even though what we're trying to show may not have worked out, but that's not the point. The point is I want to hear the struggles that he's gone through, but yet he's got the fire in his belly to really rise above it and really be successful. This guy's a huge inspiration. I cannot stress that. So hopefully these two guys will check all that out for that. But I just want to give, as this guy says, step by step where he should learn. So I've already mentioned it. We've got 2 courses here, and yeah. So let me log in and show you what I mean. Hey everybody, logged into my membership finally. Okay, so if you come under, I'm just giving you the back end of what this thing looks like. I haven't done this in a while, and I'm sure a lot of people may be curious about it. If you come under my dashboards, let's say, and here we have 2 separate dashboards. We have an elite dashboard. We call it the other dashboard, which are just more legacy stuff where you can learn. I'll get into that in a minute. But if you're starting out, this dashboard, the third one that I just pulled down or chose, is the actual infrastructure building block. The infrastructure building block course or phase or whatever. And each of these steps, these 10 units, cover all the basics to help you get started building out your own very primitive trading system, automated. Now, obviously I cover why Python, how to build the environment, and going from there, covering the databases, interacting with most likely your interactive brokers, TWS. We've talked about the broker choice. You want to stay with interactive brokers. They're the cleanest out of all the brokers. They're not really a dirty broker with a lot of tricks when it comes to market making and just bad policy. A good warning I keep telling people is if you are using a broker that only supports MetaTrader, MT4 or 5, run very far away, because you are going to get scammed so bad. And I've got lots of postings I can show that, but we're not going to get into that. But coming back to your broker, we cover your basic data that you could use. I mean, a lot of people are starting out, so you could use Yahoo Finance. We cover the visualization with Matplotlib, PyChart, PyQt, PyChart. And then the wonkiness of trying to set up a front end with some kind of graphical user interface. As I said, there are some strange things with Python, and I've given you some options here that you could try out. And then of course the current stuff that we're working right now is the futures and options strategy. So you can see here we are, I think, going into our 4th week here. P&L stuff, profit loss example, that's what we're kind of moving into for this Monday. Happen every Monday, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Done a survey many years ago. That's the best time, most convenient time for most people. And remember, we're dealing with people from all over the world. We've got obviously North America and South America. We've got Europe and Africa, Mideast, and then moving out east into Asia and Australia, where I find 8 p.m. is great for the North Americans, and for a lot of the people out on the eastern part of Asia, India, China, Australia. These are some of the bigger markets we've got. It's good for them because it's early in the morning. And we cover all these steps, and we go through them live by live. And a good example of if you miss out, cool, that's not a problem. We do a video playback, as here. Or is it, I think, yeah, this is our playback right here. Yeah, video playback. So we cover that. It's all covered. If you do miss out, no problem. So here you can, if you went through all these steps, cover all the basic mechanics of futures trading that leads into options trading, which one's better, and blah 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 blah. And it only focuses on commodities. And right now, if you want to make money, commodities is a good place to be in. If you understand all this stuff, there's call put parity is apparently the best trade on the planet right now. If you were trading sugar, which just came out 3-4 days ago, hey, it went up 45% or something like that since the beginning of the year. And iron went up, and it's gone up and down. Gold's gone up. I think silver's up 45%. So if you know how to play the commodities, you can do really, 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 really well. So this is the entire membership overall, and it is broken out into the steps that people seek, all the different components, specifically this infrastructure one. Again, it's very basic, but it gets you started. And then this one as well. Now, in terms of community, I used to leverage off of WordPress, which is this whole thing's built off of. But thanks to the other wonderful schlocks in the world of hacking, I have to keep this site pretty locked down. But I do have this chat, which really isn't a chat, but it's a direct email to me and me only. I don't have a staff. I just have a copy editor for my emails. That's it. And that comes to me. Okay. And I usually respond within 24 hours. I try to get a lot faster. Now, I could easily overwhelm people, but to answer everybody's questions on this is the most basic way to learn. But there's a lot more to this in this entire membership. Okay, I can give a tour, and this is one of many tours that I've shown. Let's do it in a modern way. Okay. Now, as I said about the community, WordPress was the chosen one, but Facebook has really been good to me. The reason I say that is because if you looked at my group here, this is my page, which is nothing but charts and charts and charts and charts and charts. Somewhere in there, you'll eventually find actual postings that I put up daily. On top of that, if you come under my Instagram as well, but again, the highlight here that I want everybody to know is I've got 2 meetup groups on meetup.com that are really important. Because here, if you look at my meetup events, quote unquote here, you'll notice there's a lot. But I highly recommend anybody, this is free, anybody should join either or of these quant finance group or the or MATLAB. So you can see we have 1,100 and 800 people in either or. The other thing is we have events. I'm not sure if this will come up right. So yeah, it's not catching for some reason. It must be a bug. But if you go into my blog, you'll get all the latest events. And right here, under meetup events, there's tons. There's about 25 lined up right up until February. And that's all due to my course that I've highlighted here. This new course that we've got underway. Oh, helps if I'm under my membership here. Just give me a second here. Okay, this is back at our membership. Okay, so we got the dashboard options. And this is the course I'm referring to. The C++, Python, in the algo, futures and options algos. So this is what I'm referring to. So this is currently live up until February 2017. Okay, and that, all those meetups are pointing to these events. Every Monday, 8 o'clock. So there's that. Now, I'm hoping I've answered all the questions. We've covered you need to have more programming, how detailed the courses are. Well, I've shown you that the 10 weeks for 10 weeks for my infrastructure building block, and the other one is 24 weeks. Okay, so they're pretty intense, but they're there. It's video on demand. You get the code, and you get the videos as well. All the playbacks you may miss, but you can also participate in the live ones. As I keep saying, Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Pretty well every week until February. All All right, so let's check out some of the other stuff in the Elite membership. Now, this is very vast. Okay, I want you to understand this. This is huge. Okay, because we've got just alone in the books. We've got dozens upon dozens of postings. Actually, 3 books to start, which are highly recommended. So on and so forth. We'll just go back to that previous dashboard. This can overwhelm people, and for what you're paying for, it's huge. Again, we've got software models here. These are all the different categories. So you can see here we cover all the different types of models possible: ARIMA, CAPM, GARCH, MCMC, mean reversion, blah blah blah. It goes on and on and on. You'll also see here we've covered R. I'll show you that in a minute. Actually, maybe I should do that. But there's so much stuff here. It's crazy. I could spend hours on it. What is available. On top of, if you go and come under the other dashboard, this is where all the goody stuff is. All the courses that I've talked about. See, if you come under here, under my blog, right here, this is my blog, right here. If you come under Learn, what happens is people get confused here because we have different types of courses. We've got an Elite membership. We've got all the courses. So what I'm about to show you is all the courses. So this is all included as part of the membership. So if you come back to the other dashboard here, as part of the membership, what you'll get is this huge page of just stuff. You can see the little bar here. Just it's massive. Let me know when you want me to stop. And this is what I'm saying, it overwhelms people. So what do we got in here? We've got a lot of stuff. I mean, some serious amount of stuff. But you can see it's non-stop fun. So what do we got in here? I gotta go all the way back up. Hang on here. So let me just give you a general rundown of what's available in this thing. It's colossal. No matter what path you decide to take, there's hundreds of videos in here. I won't say hundreds, but easily dozens, probably 100 plus. In the beginning, we've had a couple of great presentations on using Hadoop and R before it became big. Data parallel. Want to know about statistics programming? This is a great video. Got a course on visualization. Now this is all .NET and Windows. This will mostly get likely removed in coming weeks to months. I'll say months. But you can see here we got all kinds of stuff. Demos with IKeyFeed, which I absolutely love. And now IKeyFeed have now got it on Mac. Awesome. And if you haven't known by now, I question a lot of things coming out of all Microsoft. So I'm moving off of it, and I'm probably going to get rid of the demos. But there's some great tools out there if you do decide to stay on Windows. Using IKeyFeed, which is probably the best market data provider out there. I've got lots of demos on that, how to use interactive brokers, TWS, and the API solutions out there that sit on top of the interactive brokers, TWS, API. Some awesome tools. Then we move into my fave, MATLAB. So in MATLAB, I've covered at the time, I don't know what version of MATLAB this was, but probably MATLAB 2012. Covered all the possible ways to use MATLAB for trading, automated. You can see here I've got Simulink. Simulink, if you decide to go ultra lowest latency using FPGA boards. Code generation with C++. I mean, these are not cheap options. Okay, these are more for institutional players. But you can see I love MATLAB so much, which is awesome. But there's a caveat, and it's the cost. A lot of people can't afford $10,000 toolbox for this or that toolbox, where it ends up being about $125,000 for only 4 years. So just to let you know about that. So on top of that, we've covered all the possible different databases. Of course, it's a little older. We'll give you a general overview of what does what in the database world when it comes to data. My choice, to be honest, right now, looking back upon this stuff, I would say easily what I'm already presenting is either MongoDB or ultimately, if you can handle it, Redis, which is a great NoSQL database. But again, I don't want to overwhelm people, but people ask, what am I getting? So again, we've talked about the interactive brokers, some third-party stuff for IQ Feed. We cover a lot of the different MATLAB ways to deploy a MATLAB model, convert it to C or C++. Got Simulink, same idea, C to C++. We also got some coverage of .NET, Microsoft, which I'm kind of honestly going to get off of. Well, I'm already been off it for about a year now. And then we cover all the different technical for a trading platform perspective. And on and on and on it goes. So here you'll see custom trading course using, at the time, TradeLink, which was open source, .NET. I mean, I could go on. So we get into the different toolboxes, econometrics, financial, signal processing, blah, 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 as if people want to really see that. But I will say this is popular. R, using R version 2.15. I haven't really looked at it since, but I cover all the different possibilities with R, arbitrage and volatility, mean reversion, pair trading, technical analysis, R course with some quant stuff. Quant including Garch, and then we jump back into the MATLAB, and then it goes on and on and on. It goes. Okay, let's see what this is. I don't remember what this is in, actually. Oh, these are all the different algorithms, I think. So if you want to know a sample what they look like, this would be a good one. And remember, you're getting source code all the way through. So you get a private video, you get some latex stuff, the little algorithm itself, plain text, which is really latex, or can be latex, and then the formula. And then the video. And this came out of Irene Aldrich's book many years ago on HFT algorithms. So it just goes on and on and on and on. And there's all kinds of hidden gems in here. I'm not going to get into them. But again, all this stuff I'm not going to keep up for very much longer. It's on a timeline. So that's the current state of this elite membership. So what am I going to be doing over the next couple of months? Well, coming back to these questions here, people are wanting to learn how to build out algorithmic trading systems from a basic high level. So I'm going to provide a course of all the stuff that I've shown you and try to distill it in very simplistic terms with a live trading strategy with Python, the infrastructure, building blocks, bring them all together as a separate course. But here's the thing. My current membership is going to split apart, and I think this is the future of how I'm doing it. So let me show you how I envision it. Okay, so this is the current membership we've got. We've got this algorithmic trading course series that I've got, that I've talked about, the infrastructure building blocks, the options of future strategy I've talked about. But what I'm probably going to do is merge it all into one separate course. Okay, so it's going to be totally separate from anything else. And I have determined that the market value of that will probably be at least $500, but most likely pushing towards $1,000 as a one-off fee to learn this stuff. With the video playbacks, the code, all that. I'm having people help me determine the value of that and what the market is willing to bear. So don't be surprised, just this one little piece is going to be that expensive. That's going to be in the next few months. So as it stands right now, get in on this while it's cheap. You can do it all for $100 a month, but you get everything as I've seen it. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've left so much money on the table. So I'm going to make hay out of it and optimize and maximize what I can get out of it. Simple as that. And maybe some people may know, other people may know, if you're not on my email list and you actually read my emails, if you come under my FAQ section here, I've opened up a new section here at the bottom right. called Quant Elite Analytics Pro. So what's going to happen is all this stuff I've shown you is eventually not going to get dumped, but it's not going to be on public display anymore. Nobody's going to have access to it except moi. And this new service is going to come out of it, and what it is basically trading charts, trading data sets that have been analyzed and just forecasting where the market may move here or there, blah, 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 blah. But there's going to be a lot of it. And it's going to be just sent up every day, every week, every month, something different on the Fed. It could be equity, it could be FX, it could be futures, options, the whole 9 yards. Again, it's a lot. And that's going to be a new service I'm going to be launching in the next few weeks. And that is not going to be technical. And I'm doing that on purpose because I don't want to get into technology anymore. I don't want to be part of that. It holds me back, and there's so many other places that are free, like Quantopian, as I said, and a million other people. So I'm getting out of that game. But I want to focus on the charts and the data sets, the analytical data sets. Bring back the old multi-millionaire traders that I've lost over the years that were very profitable and bring them into this group. Out of that, of course, will be a new service that I'll launch, which is going to be basically a chat room with these kind of people, but no mention of technology. Okay, so there's going to be two separate new services. One, which is the chat room, and then another service that will be this analytics pro stuff with charts and data and reports and stuff of what's happening in the markets. And then there's going to be this new service that I've never done before, which is going to be like a chat room. Out of that, on top of that, I'll be bringing together, I'm hoping, a mastermind of very, very profitable traders, and that is only going to be high quality, highly profitable traders that have to meet a very stringent set of criteria in terms of portfolio, how often they trade, their net worth, and most of all, if they're willing to share their trades and their strategies in a small, very select group of people. So I'm going to have that. I'm going to start that up maybe sometime next year and meet on a regular basis. So there's going to be a lot of new exciting stuff, but the only technical thing that I'll keep out of all this current elite membership stuff is the probably one or two courses and maybe some software. I may give it away, I don't know. But it's going to be just a simple course to get people started in the world of Python with all what I've already shown in this video, answering these very questions that I get all the time. And that will help them get started. And at the same time, that same software that I'm going to be using in my own trading operation, I will republish and repurpose that data that it sees. That's the whole point of this, what I call this Quant Analytic Pro service. Sounds pretty fancy, but really it's not. So that's the idea and how I envision it over the next few months. So if you want to learn the technical, how I've done it, looking at these different dashboards that I haven't really gone on about, you got to join now because it's just going to vanish. And I was thinking, well, I'll put up a hard set date. Yes, I'll do that, but it's just like it's going to stop at a certain point. No questions asked, no extensions, no nothing. It's just going to come to that date, to that time period. And because of the amount of material in here, the faster you understand stuff, the faster you can learn from this, which is, I've posted, like I said, everything I put up since day one. Since day one, now coming up 6 years. And a lot of it is private videos that I've never ever released. So if you get in on this now, I would highly recommend you to do that. And just learn while I can before I remove it, because we've got guys like this that I've highlighted, Hayden, who's learned a lot, and he's still applying himself, and he's come a long ways, and he understands the importance of automated trading. Yeah, it's to your advantage to learn, and if you're going to follow where I've come from, and my history, and where I'm at, and my confidence level where I'm at, both on the trading front as well as the technical. Yes, I am still fairly weak on the math, but it's coming. And as I get more into it, as I get more into the lower levels, I'll be much better, much farther ahead. So, in an essence, that's what I want to show you. But if you're just starting out, keeping it simple for these kind of people that ask me, how do I get started? Where do I learn? Step by step. Again, in summary, you're better off to learn from this course series that I've launched. It's designed for people like that. And the two phases that are important are, as I said, the two dashboards that will help you is this Python algo trading course, the infrastructure building block, so you understand what goes into a trading platform. This is not something that you'll learn through Quantopian or QuantConnect or whatever. This is your own infrastructure, of your own database, your own brokerage connection, your own visualization, your own data capture, blah, 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 blah. Okay? This is the first step. So the second step is, as an example, if you decide to do futures or options, and I think out of all the asset classes in the world, the most lucrative are easily options and FX, just because the returns are so big, and you can have more control on the risk side as well. So that's why I'm focusing on it. I'm not saying that futures is not bad. I mean, we are in a lull on the commodity front, but as I said, you've got amazing returns this year in 2016 when people are getting okay returns, but we're talking 45% return on, I think it was 46% return on sugar, and 45% on silver, 28 I've heard on gold. So these are big returns on these kind of commodities. This course is really helpful for that. So that's the place to start. The rewards are there. The risk, you just got to have the one skill, very determined to learn. So hopefully this yet another video, more modern, more up to date as this group has gotten big. And I would like to say big because I'm going to be honest with you. My Facebook group, let me see here. Well, maybe I'm going to brag. Where am I? About. In here is the Facebook group, which is mushroomed. This one right here, Facebook group. Let me show you how many members we had. Where is it? Right here. 7,959 members. And this group is not that old. Okay? That's like maybe last 2 years it's grown that much. And we get anywhere from 20 to 30 new people a day on this group. And it's massive. And you can see there's lots of people posting some very cool tutorials. This is where my community is growing and more interactive. And this is free. Okay? So there you go. We are growing, and I want to say thank you. If you're at the very end of this video, that tells me you are determined to learn. If you are, you can do some very nice things in the market. But I'm not going to turn this into a quick, rich scheme because it ain't. Yeah, you could do the rich thing, but quick? No. It's a long journey. But I try to cut out as much BS as possible and to learn the right way. And if you're coming in from a non-real techie level as a programmer, I've set up the Python to enable that, to get you started somewhat, and hopefully your inner will to learn and consume knowledge and let it motivate you. We have the people, we have the community. It's coming about, and as you can see here, we got current events, and we got some great presentations from a variety of people, including myself. I'll try to get maybe Ernie Chan in another one, and some really good people. Okay, so hopefully I'm going to shut up now. I'm sure this is probably another 30-minute plus video, but this stuff can change your life if you have the determination and the will to learn and learn the new way of trading. And let me show you this as a parting shot to all the retail trading gurus out there. If you ever question things, you will get Lloyd Blank Fine. Blank Fine. Yeah, Blank Fine says they are now a technology company. Okay, they're not the traditional investment bank that they used to with stodgy people sitting around yelling at each other. They are a technology company. They're technically driven, and all this stuff I just talked about is what drives not only Goldman Sachs, who's the premier company in all this, or bank that starts all this. They are the leader in this movement, and they're tossing people that are just dinosaurs when it comes to to trading, and they're tossing them left and right. And they're bringing in new quants, algorithmic traders that know and are strong in programming. This is the new wave, and you can't stop it. We haven't even talked about machine learning and the artificial intelligence yet, which is another big topic. Okay, so I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for watching. Got questions, shoot them my way via the group, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. I'll get back to you later.